Raider Nation, hopefully you guys join me to take on the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday, August 14th. We're going live 15 minutes before kickoff. Join our awesome watch party. If you don't know what a watch party is around here on the Raiders Report, it's this. It's that game day tailgating experience. We got the scores. We're going to be deleting some beers. We're going to be having a good time. So hit that subscribe button. Set a reminder on your phone because I'm telling y'all right now, I cannot wait. Now, in terms of what you're going to see on today's show, we're going to look at a quick preview up against the Vikings in this second preseason game for the Raiders, the first preseason game for Minnesota. I'm also going to give you my top 5 things to watch for in today's game, and at the very end, we'll also throw in some odds, some spreads, and maybe some stuff you guys should bet on. So what I want to know down in the comment section is this. Who you got? And I'm going to ask you on every single preview I do this upcoming year, who you got. The reason? Because these are the videos that Vikings fans come on over. They try to dominate the comment section, and I'm not going to have it. So spam LV if you're cheering for the silver and the black. Now, in terms of what you should be watching for, the way that I like to do these preseason previews is I always like to look at the other team's quarterback play because for this game, you're going to see two very different styles of quarterbacks. You're going to see Sean Mannion, who personally, I actually think fits a lot better in Kevin O'Connell's system of being a pocket passer. But you're also going to see Kellen Mond. And Kellen Mond, I would say, is a lesser version of a Marcus Mariota. He's a good athlete. Had a lot of playing experience in college at Texas A&M. But he's not a good passer. I want to see how our Raiders secondary, how some of our defensive ends get after him, how some of our linebackers, corners, safeties really stack up against some of these quarterbacks in Minnesota. Now, in terms for the Raiders, McDaniels is going to be like this, I think, all season, where if he doesn't have to reveal something, he's not going to do it. I don't know how many starters end up playing. He hasn't come out and said who of those players are going to be suiting up, but this is what I know. I'm going to expect to see some guys out there. I should mention that I am recording this video on Thursday, so some stuff might change over Friday and Saturday. But at this current moment, Josh McDaniels has not revealed anything yet. So coming up right now here on the Raiders Report, I'm going to give you my top 5 things to watch for in the Raiders vs. Vikings preseason game in Las Vegas. And these things to watch for are going to be for the silver and black and the silver and black only. At least that's what makes my heart beat. So the first thing coming up here is I'm going to be looking at the entire running back room. The fact that Jacobs played last week, the fact that Zamir White, Kenyon Drake, all the running backs essentially got a little bit of work, minus Brandon Bolden. What I want to see this upcoming week is, all right, how do these running backs fit in? Because the last depth chart that was released by the Raiders had actually Kenyon Drake behind Zamir White, had Kenyon Drake behind Brandon Bolden. So, does Jacobs get more work? How do the Raiders use Drake, Abdulalh, Zamir? What does Austin Walter look like? What about Brittain Brown, who just became healthy again? The Raiders proved to me, and McDaniels proved to me, and their brand new OC, Mick Lombardi, proved to me that the running back position is going to be a position that gets utilized, which really shouldn't surprise many fans out there because of how often the running backs were used in past Patriot schemes. But I'm going to be looking at the running backs here, especially Kenyon Drake, Zamir White, Brandon Bolden, and Ameer Abdulalh. Well, let's go to the next thing I think all y'all should watch for. It's the wide receiver 3 battle. Davante Adams, Hunter Renfrow, those are your top 2. And this has been something that I've been talking about for a while, but guess what? There's a reason. I want to know who's going to win that third wide receiver role behind Renfrow, behind Adams. And right now I'd say it's a 4-way race between Keelan Cole, Mack Hollins, Demarcus Robinson, and Tyron Johnson. Now, all 4 of these players got some run last week. I want to see Tyron Johnson, if he gets another deep ball, to come down with it. But I also want to see how players like DJ Turner and Justin Hall look because I think that those guys are battling it out for a roster spot. The Raiders just signed Chris Lacey, and they released Jordan Vassie. What does Lacey look like? But in terms of overall who is going to go out there and who's going to compete, who is Jarrett Stidham looking at? Because Jarrett Stidham right now, the keys are in his court because you're not going to see as much out of Nick Mullins. You're not going to see a lot out of Chase Garbers. I really think that Jarrett Stidham is the clear-cut QB2, and I want to know who he's targeting. All right, y'all, so I got 3 more things that every Raider fan should be looking for today. What are you watching for against the Vikings? Like, this is your time to shine. I know I'm the face here. We got Patrick Seatman behind the scenes who is a Vikings fan, and we're going to get him drunk today, just so y'all know. But I want to know, what are you guys watching for the Raiders against the Vikings? Let's go to the third thing to watch for here, and this is another no shit, Mitch. The entire offensive line. Because the entire line minus Colton Miller is a coin flip. Right? Call it in the air. I don't know what you're going to get out of him. Alex Leatherwood has apparently been looking a lot better in practice. You're not going to see Brandon Parker out there because he's done for the year, though it blows my mind that the Raiders have yet to announce this, right? I mean, it's crazy to me. But Thayer Munford, what does he look like? You're going to see a little bit more run out of him. Lester Cotton continues to be an impressive player out there. Dylan Parham, he's been working a little bit more at left guard. John Simpson, Andre James. I do think that there is a battle right now between, in terms of, Lester's probably going to be your starting right guard, but Jermaine Illuminor is nipping at his heels. John Simpson, Dylan Parham, that's another battle that I think a lot of y'all need to keep in mind because Simpson doesn't have a lock on that position. If Parham can show out and continue to play better, because if you ask me who played better last week, I'd probably give the advantage to Parham over John Simpson. It was close, but the offensive line is obviously something that is important for the Raiders this upcoming season. What about the defensive tackle room? The defensive tackle room makes me want to roll my eyes, and I just saw myself do it on screen. I roll my eyes because when you see some of the DTs that are out there, like an Ndamukong, like a Linval Joseph, like a Sheldon Richardson, I sit here and I'm like, what the hell are we waiting for? And I'm going to be patient because the Raiders in the offseason, during free agency, myself included, a lot of Raider fans were, well, when are they going to make a move? What the heck is taking them so long? And then they made a lot of moves back to back to back. I am a believer that this Raiders team is going to be aggressive, but I want to see more out of Neil Farrell Jr. and Matthew Butler. I want to see more out of the top three listed healthy defensive tackles than Andrew Billings, Tyler Lancaster, Kyle Pecco. Vernon Butler's been buried on that depth chart. These players need to start stepping up to give this Raiders organization some confidence in them or not. I think that you could see the Raiders bring in a veteran defensive tackle. We got a few more giveaways or getaways or what to watch for is probably the way to look at it. But if you want to see yourself on our watch party on Sunday, get a jump start. Post a picture of yourself on Twitter repping some Raiders gear. But you got to use hashtag RO4L. It stands for Real One for Life. So if you could, scan that QR code, go to my Twitter, use hashtag RO4L in a picture, and we're going to be posting them all game day long when the Raiders take down the Vikings. The final thing to watch for, the Raiders defensive backs against Minnesota's wide receivers. I'm not going to anticipate that you see Justin Jefferson. You're not going to see Adam Thielen, I don't mind. I don't even think you're going to see KJ Osborne. But you know what? Minnesota has one of the deepest wide receiver rooms in all of football. They truly do. You got a good receiver in Jalen Nailor, Ameer Smith-Marset. You got a few other guys who have battled some injuries, but there are some names to keep in mind. Does Nate Hobbs play on the outside again? Where does Rock Ya-Sin line up? How much of Meek Robertson, Anthony Averett action do we see in the slot? In terms of your UDFAs, I think Sam Webb and Bryce Cosby are really battling it out. Chris Jones had himself another really good practice on Thursday, and if the Raiders keep 7 corners or 7 guys in the back, Chris Jones might make himself a name. Darius Phillips continues to look good. So how do these players match up? And then also the safeties, because Jonathan Abram, I want to see more out of him. Duron Harmon continues to be an impact player. Matthias Farley, I've heard a lot of good things about him. Roderick Teamer's getting out there on the field for the first time. Tyree Gillespie forced a fumble. The Raiders secondary has got a lot of eyes on them, and personally, I think they deserve it. So here are my top 5 things that I am going to be watching for the Raiders when they take on the Minnesota Vikings a little bit later on today. I know it's early, but hey, I wanted to get you guys a video. So those are my top 5 things. I'm looking at the running backs, looking at the receivers, the entire offensive line, the defensive tackles, and then, yes, the Raiders secondary with the safeties and the cornerbacks. So we got this preseason game. The game starts at 4:25 p.m. Eastern Time, which means I'm going to be going live at 4:10 Eastern Time for everyone on the West Coast. That's 1:10 Pacific Time for all y'all doing the math out there. The over-under in this one is 34.5. It's 3 points higher or 4 points higher than last week. The Raiders, 3.5-point favorites. I'm Team Silver and Black. I'm betting on the Raiders. It's also the preseason, so you might not see as many points. Take that with what you with. But I do think this. The Raiders played as many starters as they did. you might want to bet the over. All right, y'all, we're getting ready to end today's video. So if you're a real one and you made it this far in the video, hopefully I see you during our watch party a little bit later on tonight. But if you are a real one, spam real one below.